What's up, everyone? It's me, Adam Prime, and the summer's over. It. I seriously. I was not planning Trigger to be the last movie I did. It just happened. Like I said in that video, um, my my scheduling got a little weird, and I thought there was an extra week, and I was gonna do Ibra Horror of the Deep, but might have to hold off because the summer's over, and it's not like, oh, I can't do more movie reviews until the next summer. It's more of I don't want to run out of movies too quick, and that kind of just means I kind of blew past the limit of videos I really wanted to do this year, and it just took me a second to realize I'm like, oh, I'm done. I was so excited to do more, but that means I can put more energy into other types of videos. So I still got some stuff cooking. I got stuff to get stuff rolling. And overall, this was a solid group of 11 movies this year. With that 11 now bringing up the current Blazing Toku Movie-thon 4-year counter at leaving us at 43 movies, only 21 of which you guys on YouTube have seen. So, I didn't do any redos this year. Last year I did Rebirth of Mothra and Shin Kamen Rider Prologue, and those were redos from the first year. And I definitely want to do more redos this year, but there were too many movies I wanted to get on this year. Like, all the picks I did this year were all the current running ones. Like, there were just so many of the movies actually subbed this year, and I'm like, oh, I wanted to watch that anyway, so I used it as an excuse to watch it. And overall, there were like a little bit of themes this year. Kamen Rider took over a little bit. Kamen Rider was a good chunk of this year, but there's always a good chunk of Godzilla, but I got this honkin' thing, so I had to use it. Honestly, I like that. That's a really cool set. A little impractical for the DVDs, though, but it is really cool. Overall, like I said, it had a weird theming. Like, I accidentally just did a bunch of movies with Ichigo in it, like with especially Fujioka playing him. Like, we did Kamen Rider Tyson, and I have thoughts on that movie. And that was his first appearance, and then we did, like, the last appearance that he did in Superhero Senki. And honestly, I think that's one of my favorite moments in all of the movies this year on the Movie-thon was that ending bit with him in Superhero Senki just saying to, like, the Ishinomori, just being like, I miss you. I never thought I could see you again. Like, that felt like such a real, genuine moment. Like, it felt like the actor was trying to speak to him again instead of him as a character. And who knows, maybe that's what he did. I wouldn't say Superhero Senki is my favorite movie this year, but I had some good ones, like Godzilla vs. Mothra was really good. That was Stormy's personal favorite out of the group. I asked the people questions. Like, obviously, when I'm thinking about my favorite movies this year, I'm also discounting some of them. Like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 90s movie, the 90 movie, the year from 1990. As you saw in that video, I just loved that movie. It's a childhood movie. I don't know why, but, like, my family just owned, like, 4 copies of it on VHS. I don't know how we got that many copies on VHS, but, like, the first and second one, we just had a bunch of copies for it. So, that's a really big nostalgia part for me. And I hope you enjoyed that episode, actually. Like I said, it's my show. I do what I want. That was one of my favorite ones. That's actually one of the big things I'm glad I got to do this year on the Toku Movie-thon. Like, if you can look back at other years, it's always just kind of been me, and or like Bellerock pops up for 3 seconds and then gets pissed off and leaves. That's his bit, you know. I'm glad this year I could get some physical guests. Obviously, we got some that came to the table. But we also had guests where I had to travel, so I really didn't. You know, when you do something like this, you can't just be like, "Hey, can I set up like a whole thing in your living space?" It's like I can't do that. So it's like I had to do that audibly, but like that was such a fun one to do, especially since it was somebody who knew a little bit, even though like I said that was a childhood movie, but somebody who knew way more than I did, and it was really fun to learn more. Like I loved doing that kind of shit. Um Overall, I liked all the Ultraman movies this year. I liked Superior 8. Like that was a really fun story about like friends and like having to grow up and dealing with all of that. It was overall really interesting and really fun, and it was a cool to see an alternate take on Tiga, Dinah, and Gaia. That was really kind of neat. But yeah, that and the Ginga S movie. The Ginga S movie was really just a ton of fun, and especially since I watched it in English, it was very interesting of a time. Godzilla versus Hedorah was just, it's one of those like I honestly will say there were some really good picks this year in the movie-thon. Honestly, and I would say it, if we have to have the gold award for who I think wins like the best one, the one that doesn't win at all is Kamen Rider Taisen. I'm sorry, Kamen Rider Taisen fans. Like I just like comparing it to the Smog Monster, all of these, like the two Ultraman movie, three. Like, okay, maybe if you don't like Trigger, you'll be like, well, I hate Trigger, so I'll put Kamen Rider Taisen above it. Okay. But at least with Triggers, I was just like, oh, cool. I like the acting. I like the action pieces. This is cool. With Kamen Rider Taisen, I'm like, can I just beat my head on the wood just so you can just, like, if you literally just, that's it. That's all you're, that's the whole movie, is just fighting. And it's like, somebody's like, oh, but you don't complain when there's a bunch of fighting. It's like, yeah, but it's not even fun fighting. It's just, like, pointless. And the story was stupid, and I just don't like it. How long did I spend on that? I'm sorry. It's just, it was a really fun time, and I can't wait. I'm about to say, like I said, I don't say I do these, like, I have to do these in the summer, but this is something I just like to do in the summer. It's a fun little bit. It's the whole reason I started doing videos. It was the scheduling that was like, okay, if I actually want to do it, I gotta do it. And overall, it's been a fun time, and it's something I'm really hoping I could still do from year to year. I hope to bring on more guests, more movies. Like I said, this whole channel and everything is just me wanting to share stuff I really find interesting or want to talk about. And in my daily life, outside of like people like Stormy, like I don't really get to talk about Toku, where it's like nobody in my vicinity really is a Toku person per se. Matter of fact, like most part, Stormy, I showed most of it to her because she was just like, "Oh, what's that?" And I was just like, "All right, I already have the attention. I just gotta I got the box to the crumbs. Just gotta walk over here and, ha! You got it on the trap." I'm kidding, but like true story though, we were in high school and I was just like watching it, and me being like a terrified high schooler, it's like almost like somebody caught me watching porn or something in the school, and I was like, like somebody was just like, "What's that?" Wham! Like, it's like I was easily embarrassed and very like I didn't want to get made fun of, like, you know, even though I was watching Amazon's the really bloody Toku show, so it's just people getting slashed. It's just something I like to talk about to people. It's just one of those, it's one of those things. It's like, I feel like maybe that was also my fault. I was very introverted, and it's just like, because it's like, how do you bring this up to people unless they know, you know? I actually met somebody in school who also knew a lot about Toku and Ultraman, and that was a really fun thing. It's a fun to interact and see what people do. Everyone can look at everything so differently. And it's one of the really interesting things because with Toku especially Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, and all of them, again, there's so many different shows in different eras where it's like, why does everyone have to assume who everyone has to have the same favorite? Everyone can have a different aesthetic, a look, anything, your choice. It's all just a really fun genre, you know? From the toys to the movies, there's just a ton to talk about. So, I guess there's still more to talk about some other time. I hope you enjoyed this movie-thon. Thank you for watching any of those videos or for watching this video. Again, if for next year, because like I said, this year I did a little bit more prepared. I started a little bit like a month or two beforehand, so I just had some to put out, so I didn't have to be like, okay, I gotta do this in a week, because that was just tiring. But leave movie suggestions, because whether there be a little bit of time or I'll back catalog them for next year, I'm serious, like, what movies do you want to see next year? Would you guys want to see a theme? Like, I'm thinking about maybe doing a theme of some sort, like, and I don't mean like, oh, it's just all Godzilla movies. It's like I want to do a little bit of a more of a theme than just that. But yeah, leave your suggestions for movies in the comments. Just what do you guys want to see? Like, I'm willing, if I can watch them, I'll watch them. If I don't watch them, maybe next year. So I just need to know what other movies are out there. What movies do people want to know? What people think about them. I just tripped all my words a bunch there, but I think I nailed it. And, you know, we're going into the fall. I think I got plenty of stuff to do in October. I got a couple other things in the pipe work that I might try doing. So, I'm not really going anywhere. So, I keep saying that. And I guess Bellerock doesn't have to show up, so I'm gonna go till whatever I do next. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.